Let's get it started. You. Let's get it started. You. You. Let's get it started. You. Everybody wants to play the sport to win the goals, and maybe just to rule the world. The other just want to pull you in to cash the win, and maybe just to pick up a girl.
Hi YouTube, this is BitHead85. Let's talk for a moment, shall we? The title is Black Women Matter. I watched the 2012 version of Steel Magnolias, and I have to admit, I liked it more than I thought I would have. I saw the personalities of these women, and I was reminded of women that I grew up with who were tough, with gentle hearts, razor-sharp wit, and went through the loss of one of their own. They were a family that loved one another. They were, as the title suggested, tender yet strong. I saw my sisters, cousins, aunts, and even my nieces. These black women in my circle who mean the world to me. They are a part of the man I grew up to be. They are irreplaceable. I walked away from the movie appreciative of the women I knew and grew up with, who I would also call my friends, and we would argue with like we were siblings. Then there was another movie that is playing in my head, and I, for the life of me, wanted to end. I wanted to end because, unlike Steel Magnolias, it seems to be repeating constantly on a loop with different names and situations, and the same result and the same refrain. But it doesn't make you feel good at the end of the movie. However, Steel Magnolias was based on real events. If they didn't, is the same refrain that I keep hearing. If Sandra Bland didn't mouth off, if Rakia Boyd weren't out with her friends, if Ayanna Jones wasn't at home sleeping, if Pearlie Golden and Yvette Smith didn't answer the door for police, if Chantel Davis didn't run that red light and strike a vehicle, all of them just might be alive today. These are things that are very minor. And black women are dying just for living while black. Racism isn't only a man in a white hood calling me nigger. It could be someone explaining why I deserve to die in police custody. After all, police can do no wrong. Even when they arrested Charlene Cook for no good reason other than she was upset at a dispute she was involved in, when the cop didn't even ask the white woman that she was involved in that dispute with for ID either. But these people did deserve to live, and they did a lot more than Sandra Bland did, even pointing guns at police officers. White privilege is taking a front and center line. Sarah Cole Haynes, she kicked 3 officers in the head, caused 3 accidents. These 2 men here, I've been trying to get their names all over the internet, but I could not find them. They were shot up at Idaho Walmart and were taken without incident. Dustin Lee Gunnels reached for his gun twice, not shot. E.J. Watson had road rage. We have James Holmes, the Louisiana theater shooter, John Hauser. And let's not also forget this lovely little picture here, which shows that Dylan Roof got Burger King after he shot and killed 9 people. But take a look on the kid. Take a look at the other guy in there. Julia Shields got taken without incident and after having on body armor, and again, pointing guns at the police. Jesse Del Florio had a judge express sympathy for him at his trial, but like the affluenza judge, did not do that for a black individual who had done less than what affluenza guy did. Joseph Hausman had a standoff with police, and he got his guns back the next day. What happened to Sandra Bland would not have happened to a white woman. Now, right here, I've established a pattern which unmistakably links race to behavior by cops. Social experiments bear this out, like What Would You Do, Bike Thief, another one where a black man and a white man carry an AR-15, and another one where they try to steal a car. I am tired of this happening, and of cop defenders who try to deny the pattern of people of color being shot and killed by police, unarmed, who are not doing anything wrong here, and yet they deserve to die. We need to start holding cops accountable for the murders of unarmed civilians and demand that they stop treating people of color like we don't have any, like we're not people at all. I don't care if you agree with me, but racist policing has to end. And you don't have to agree that policing is racist in areas predominantly of color. It is a fact whether or not you agree with it. A Salon piece called out something very important. Black girls are never deemed feminine enough nor for their sexual and adolescent vulnerability to register for white people. They are frequently viewed as aggressive or aggressors by both police and regular citizens alike, even for doing adolescent things like mouthing off to those in authority. Citizens have the right to mouth off to police. We have the right to question how we are being treated, why we are arrested, why we are being arrested, and why we are even being approached. Far too many police deploy accusations of disturbing the peace or obstructing justice to quiet citizens who question them within legal bounds. As long as we don't threaten or enact physical harm to police officers, we can mouth off all we want. We don't have to be polite to police officers, and they clearly have little interest in being polite to us. And for those who keep demanding that we act civilly, the point is, incivility is not a crime. This is another quote here. There are many women of color who have died in incidents involving police, including all too frequent encounters with the mentally ill, like Michelle Casso, Ora Rosser, or Margaret Mitchell, and another one was Cherise Gland, or Cherise Francis. These women were armed and considered dangerous according to police, but their deaths point to failings in how police work with mentally ill individuals. I'm tired of people of color being treated as if our lives don't matter, especially in the media sphere after such an event has happened, until a majority of white America really sees how it is for themselves. I'm afraid they will never demand it unless it happens to them with the kind of regularity that it happened to Tanisha Anderson, Natasha McKenna, Darnisha Harris, Maya Hall, Shelley Fry, and Alberta Spruill. Only when it happens to them, only when they keep seeing the faces and hearing the stories will they care. Only when it happens to them, if it ever happens to them, will they understand how it is being a black woman in a white man's world where white men are ideal, even if most crime has been committed in this country by white men in the nation's history, and no one cares to call that to the carpet. I feel as if I am under siege and always having to defend my life to people who just don't care about it. I guess only when this happens to the majority of white America will they stop calling black people overly sensitive and diminishing the racism that we face every day in this country and say it's all in our heads and actually be willing to tackle it. Maybe then they will stop saying you're playing the race card when they find out that it's in the deck and if it ever gets stacked against them. I'm going to end this by saying a simple thing, a simple truth here. It is horrible that people are more aggravated with Sandra Bland for knowing her rights than the police officer for violating her rights. Thank you for letting me talk to you, YouTube. I'll see you later.